kind of the cap of the wonderful run of a good summer of people coming out to support the store. So we're very, very grateful to Peter for stepping up to do it. So now that he's here, I will get out of the way. What do you think? Yeah, just stuff this as much as you can. Honor
I'm about to go on stage here. I'm doing a show.
I think.
Can I call you back? I'm on stage right now. It's kind of weird. I'll call you back. You okay? I love you too. See you later. Bye. Why not? All right.
That was probably just a show.
Hurricane victims down in L.A. You know.
All right, we're going to adjust the mood lighting and.
I better shut that off.
Oh yeah, shut off your phone. So
Shut it off. All right. Well, it's great to be here playing at Bird and Beckett, and I love the store so much, you know, and it's great to be here. And I'll start with a little guitar music just to relax myself. Can you hear that out there? Would you like to hear it a little better? Just a little bit louder. I always like. I know it's the wrong vibe, but it is a bookstore, I guess. Here we go. Driving 12 hours after the show, made the border at dawn and kept going. The moon crossed my path, I was doing the math. Will I make it? There's no way of knowing. I should have called home before she went to sleep. Now I pray the Lord for her soul to keep. Tomorrow we'll tell who's been tending the sheep. The world turns every 24 hours. The world turns every 24 hours. It turns every 24 hours. Turns every 24. Under a bridge in the black squalling rain, I could see them but just for an instant. The wind hauled the morning off like a train, and the skyline was lost in the distance. The skyline was lost in the... Who moved the furniture? Who hit the light? Everything's changing and nothing feels right. I thought I was smart, but that was last night. The world turns every 24 hours. It turns every 24. The world turns every 24 hours. Now the arrows were down, and the road through the town was blocked by the flood and the crash site. The cop walked me through, but I thought of you. Crossed 10,000 miles of moonlight, 10,000 miles of moonlight. Life's opportunity moves with great speed. Pay close attention, it's not guaranteed. We live in a world of wonder indeed. And it turns every 24 hours. It turns every 24. The world turns every 24 hours. Well, it turns every 24 hours. It turns every 24. Well, it turns every 24. Well, it turns every 24 hours. All right. That's what they say, anyhow. Of course, we all know the world is flat, so it can't really turn, but just a figure of speech. And, oh, here's one. This is a true story about, I come from Buffalo, New York. Yeah. So, how's my hair look, okay? All right. Forgot to get a style today. Trying to remember how the song goes. I haven't played it for a long time, but that ain't how it goes. I'm just figuring it out here for the right key. You know? Okay, here we go. I don't remember it being like that key, but what the hell? In the raggly wooded outskirts of the city, where the ancient elevators store the grain, and the long lake boats that used to haul the metal are in the docks and rusting in the rain. There's a maritime supply beneath the skyway. My father took me there to buy a rope. The store was dark and jammed with all you needed for a voyage round the Cape of Good Hope. Well, I'll take my chances in the wide world, seek my fortune in the cold. Come what may, I'll be okay if I can only find a stretch of open road. A mysterious figure passes on the sidewalk. In ragged clothes, Father, I say, how come? He wears several dirty jackets and a top coat. My father nods and says, son, that man's a bum. I look again and see the rapt attention. The floppy hat he tips back with his thumb. The aura of a world's ragtime adventure. I say when I grow up, I wanna be a bum. And I'll take my chances in the wide world, seek my fortune in the cold. Come what may, I'll be okay if I can only find a stretch of open road. Now we're traveling a world that's full of war zones. Listening to music we've destroyed. Praying to a God who's just a tyrant for work that's just like being unemployed. Eating food that's pumped with fat and water. Reading books with nothing on the page. Sitting in the dark to see a picture. You're better hungry watching a bare stage. I'll take my chances in the wide world. Seek my fortune in the cold. Come what may, be okay if I can only find a stretch of open road. Only find a stretch of open road. Only find a stretch of open road. That's sort of a dour message, but that's okay, I guess. You know, sometimes you feel like that. Like right now, for instance. Let's see what else we know how to do. Well, hold on a minute. Oh yeah, well I don't want to play that anymore. All right, over to the piano. I was locked in a room, feeling probably the way you felt at the beginning of the pandemic, like, what the hell, you know, and like what's going to happen, and like nothing made any sense. I thought I was going off on this big worldwide tour. It was going to be sensational. It's going to be the most fantastic thing that ever happened to me, and the whole thing got short-circuited. I'm just sitting in a room, kind of like the way you were, claustrophobic, kind of the way you probably felt, anxiety, didn't know what to do, about to freak out. Did you feel like that? I was going nuts. And then I realized I was in a room with a piano, and I'd always wanted to play piano. Somebody had given me a great old piano that their family had, and I had it sitting there in the living room, and I never had enough time to play it because I was always going on the road. So, hey, I started just getting up in the morning and drinking coffee and playing piano to my heart's content. I did that for 2 years straight. And so, that, you know, whatever, you know. And then these songs, I started learning like some other songs, you know, like I was learning stuff like, I like John Coltrane a lot, and I've been going to that John Coltrane church, and so I started playing stuff like... Stuff like that, like very basic versions of, and then of course I like to play like rock and roll kind of stuff and all that kind of thing. But you know, these songs started coming to me, and here's one that I would just came, and then I'd sit there and figure them out, you know. And I was playing these songs, and like you could hear them going up and down the street. We live up there in the Richmond, so it was foggy all the time and everything, and you could hear the piano echoing up and down the street, I guess, because I went out there one night in this dark, you know, this guy comes out of the fog, and he comes up and he goes, is that you playing the piano up there all the time? I said, yeah, and he goes, I like that one you've been working on the last couple of weeks. So that was the first review on the new record. And yeah, they would hear the songs a lot, you know, and so here we go. This is one. It's called Downtown Nowhere's Blues. I come from this little town south of Buffalo. I spent a lot of time in Buffalo, but then I was in this town, and you know, things are polarized now back there, but you know, like the way things are polarized everywhere. But you know what? They were always polarized there, and and I probably did my share to help polarize it a little bit. So here's a song about it now. Around a talk diner on a weekday night, T and the gang trying to start a fight. Political talk don't make sense. They crowd around the table and the room gets tense. And you know we're trying to get along downtown nowhere. At the counter on a microdose of LSD, she fiddles with a jukebox and her destiny. The walls are moving, the food is dust. The same song keeps playing to tease disgust. And you know we don't get along downtown nowhere. And you know we don't get along. You know we don't get along downtown nowhere. Along. You know we don't get along downtown nowhere. Table, there's a kid been painting fans. Just got back from Afghanistan. Candy-colored stripes and shapes go far. They can airbrush a galaxy on your car. And you know we don't get along downtown nowhere. Front by the curb, there's a bunch of old men who act like boys. Big T turns to me while I'm trying to chew. He says, if I had a dog half as ugly as you, I'd make him walk backwards through downtown nowhere. And you know we don't get along. You know we don't get along downtown nowhere. We don't get along. You know we don't get along downtown nowhere. Downtown Nowhere's Blues. All right. This is a Sleepy John Estes song. One Friday evening, everyone was sad. We lost the best president around we ever had. And now he's gone, won't be back. He's staying away too long. Rode from town to town, standing up for rights. Some low down took the president's life, and now he's gone, won't be back. Yeah, he's gone away too long. Everybody votes, don't know what's going on. If Goldwater wins it, we ain't got no home. He's gone back home. He's gone back home. He'll be staying away too long. Mrs. Kennedy got a mansion on the island. Now it's what should be. In another mansion, Washington, D.C. But he's gone back home. He's gone back home. He'll be staying away so long. When I heard the news, I shaking like a leaf. The 80,000 people are staring back at me. But now he's gone, gone back home. He'll be staying away too long. Be staying away so long. The Sleepy John is the song. All right. I recorded that on this album, and we made, right before the pandemic hit, I made this album back in this place nobody's ever heard of. It's called Martha's Vineyard. And we recorded it at this place called the Old Wailing Church. And it was just like the church in Moby Dick or something. It was like an old wailing church. And it had an incredible echo in it. So I don't know if we have any... Did we bring some copies of that record? We got a couple of them. That's nearly 50% of the copies we've sold since it came out. But no, it came out in the pandemic, and it was hard to get it out to people. But it was this record that, the echo in the church was incredible. So you could... you could just sing in there, and it was like an incredible, like the best echo chamber in the world. So we'd cut the whole record in there on this thing called a Nagra recorder, which is like a 2-track recorder that was invented in Poland for Roman Polanski, I think. But notwithstanding that, we used it anyhow. And so I always wanted to make a record on a Nagra recorder, and so we cut that whole record on it, and somehow on that record, it was done in a church. We did that whole thing in the church. I just said that, didn't I? And so, oh yeah, and so anyhow, I wrote songs ever since 1965, but here's the first one I wrote that anybody ever wanted to hear twice. And that was 1969 or 70 or something like that. And it made it onto that album because I wrote it in a church. They gave me the keys to a Unitarian church in my hometown so I could go there. They wanted to help me from being a juvenile delinquent. And so I went into the church and acted like a juvenile delinquent, which was cool. But I wrote songs in there, and so I wrote this one in there. And so when I walked into the Wailing Church, I played their piano that they had in there, and it sounded just like the other church. And I remembered the song I'd written in 1970, I guess it was. I was like 15 or something, but I'll play it for you because we put it on that record, so it goes like this. Smiling salutations from a soldier boy, dressed in blue denim and corduroy. They don't care what you say if you talk fast. Listen anyway, they're just hanging on. Just hanging on. Just hanging on. Since I was born, I've been fighting time. I see the time passing and eases my mind. That's not the way I should feel. Watching the clock makes it all unreal. I'm just hanging on. Just hanging on. Just hanging on. Everyone around me is at their ends, running from their enemies and crying to their friends. It's got me thinking of why I'm so lonely, and I'm calling it love. I'm just hanging on. I'm just hanging on. Just hanging on. Just hanging on. Just hanging on. There you go. That was the first one like that. I used to make up songs like you could kind of that I used to hang out at like the first pad where anybody like where kids had their like the kids were controlling life in this apartment. There were no adults in this one place. They were like the first 19-year-olds. I was like 15 or so, and they were in there and writing. So I would go in the bathroom and write a song, and then bust out of there in the middle of the party to try to have with a captive audience to make up to sing a song to, which sometimes worked out. Like would have. Well, I don't know. I won't play one of those, but well, here's one. Very early. This is before I wrote a good song. He went that way in a truck, and he did. I wrote this Woodstock weekend. I tried to get to Woodstock, but for various reasons we couldn't navigate. He went that way in a truck, and he didn't give a fuck if he got to Woodstock or not. Well, he's gonna make the scene where the cops are mean, and I hope that he doesn't get shot. He got caught swimming nude. The cops thought it was kind of crude, so they canned him for a week or two. He was sitting in his cell in his own private hell when he was rescued by the ACLU. So that was the start of like I don't know why, but I've always had a lot of cops in my songs, you know. I don't like cops that much, but, you know. So anyhow, I don't know if there's any cops in this next song, but this is another one that I came up with during the pandemic. There actually is some in this song. They're in all the songs. There's run-ins with the law in almost every song. I don't know why that is, except that I don't know why. I've been arrested in every town I've ever lived in, but that doesn't have anything to do with it, really. So haven't we all, right? All right. Okay. I knew what I was was doing a second ago. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, yeah. I had no way of reaching you. I never knew if I got through. Room was dark, so was the park. I never knew if I could spark that girl in love with a shadow. That girl in love with a shadow. That girl in love with a shadow. We were down in South LA. I finally had a job to play. There was a night I spent in jail. I found my way but lost the trail of that girl in love with a shadow. That girl in love with a shadow. That girl in love. Pencil marks upon the wall. I guess I must have tried them all. A voice said she's not around. She's gone out to the edge of town. Got a day where the shadows fall. I don't know if she's coming back at all. That girl in love with a shadow. I had no way of keeping track. Still I tried to bring her back. Through the years that come and go, pulled out in the undertow. That girl in love with a shadow. 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 All right. You know, that's another thing I did a lot during the pandemic was I played harmonica a lot. I would just kind of sit there on the end of the couch, totally spaced out and depressed, and I would think about my life and play songs with people I missed. And my dad played harmonica too, and he had to stop and kind of he would like, hey, let me see your harmonica, and then he would go through this whole thing, you know. That was his style, you know, like played at a merry-go-round or something. I don't know what it was all about. And he liked this guy called my dad liked Dixieland music, you know, and like when he walked through the room and there was if there was like some music that he thought was good, he'd go, "That's hot." I was the youngest kid, so my dad was like was born in 1914, and so I was the youngest one by quite a ways, you know. My sisters were rock and rollers, but like the Elvis Presley. So my dad would walk through, and if there was like, you know, something that he liked was on, it would be hot. But if it was something like one day he walked through, and I was listening to Bob Dylan's Ballad of a Thin Man, and my dad walked through, and that's that song, you know, something's happening, but you don't know what it is, Mr. Jones. And he goes, "What the hell's that supposed to be about?" It's about you, Dad. Of course, years later, when I had kids, I realized it was about me. But but so he liked Billy Butterfield. Billy Butterfield's like a jazz guy. It's kind of obscure to me, but I think he was real mainstream to guys like that. Billy Butterfield, and he played I think he played Dixieland trumpet probably or something. Probably in a band that had a banjo player. I don't really know. But one day I was listening to this record. It was a Paul Butterfield blues band record, and there was just this wailing harmonica that was kind of like electric harmonica, and I think it sounded sort of like a saxophone to my dad. And he goes, "What is that? That's hot." I go, "That's Butterfield, Dad." He goes, "Oh, I love that," and he left the room, you know. And so one day I was looking in the newspaper, and there's this club I was looking at the ads in the newspaper, and it would say it was called the Royal Arms something or other, and I would look at it and it would say Miles Davis Quartet, or Quintet is coming to play next week, or it would say John Coltrane, or it would say Muddy Waters, or Bo Diddley, Chuck Berry played there, Charlie and Inez Fox, and one week it said the Paul Butterfield Blues Band's coming. So I looked up at my dad and I go, "Butterfield's coming to the Royal Arms." He goes, "Well, that's great. Do you want to go?" I go, "Yeah." I was like 13, you know. So we all got dressed up and we went into Buffalo to see Butterfield, but my dad thought we were going to see Billy Butterfield. I didn't know. I never thought about it. So we got there, and then the band comes out, and Elvis Bishop has hair like this, and there's electric guitar. It's like the loudest band you've ever heard in the universe, man. They just rocked, man, like a son of a... It was just so rocking, you know. And the stage was about as far away as I am from you, and they were just all standing there. It changed my life completely to see this show. My parents, they were just really... they didn't know what to think. Billy Butterfield had really changed a lot since... And but they didn't want to walk out because there was a cover and a minimum. And it changed my life to see that gig. Thank God for the whole thing. So that was exciting. Now, why am I telling you that? Oh, yeah, because I like to do this song that my dad would... here's a song that my dad was really into music, and his brother was Pete, the guy I'm named after. Peter Case. And they were teenagers into music. And so, they were into Glenn Miller, and I don't want to... I know this song's not very appropriate to play at Bird and Beckett, but it's a Glenn Miller song. But but you can help me sing it because it's hot. It goes... no, it goes... Because I'm playing this for my dad because, Pennsylvania 6, 5,000. It's a sing-along number. That's enough of that. But so so they would hitchhike around and go to gigs, all over Northeast. They're just somebody kids now. I don't know what kids now do, but Grateful Dead fans would follow. Probably now they hitchhike around to see Taylor Swift, which that'd be cool, And they went and saw Glenn Miller. They went and saw the Benny Goodman Band. One time they went to a gig, my dad was telling me Benny Goodman was on one end, and his band was at the one end, and the other end of the hall was the Cab Calloway Band. Wow. And they took turns playing sets, and they would go see Tommy Dorsey, and they would see all these incredible people, So they really loved music, and my dad played a little clarinet, and my Uncle Pete played trombone. And they were super into it. And then the war broke out, and then... my Uncle Pete enlisted in the Army when he was 17 or 18. I don't know if he lied to get in or what. And then they went over to England, and then he volunteered to be in the Army Air Force. And then he got on a B-17 bomber, which is like a tin can, you know the story about that stuff. And he was a gunner on that, and and I got a picture of him. There's a whole bunch of guys. They look like a punk rock band or something. They all got like leather jackets on, and they're all standing there, and they're all like about 20 years old, 21 years old, man. They're like kids. And then the old guy there is like 25 years old. He's the pilot. He probably learned to fly like a year before that, and maybe a little bit more than that. But so they started going on missions over there to Germany, and they were, fighting fascists and all that kind of thing. And yeah, and so so he flew. After 10 missions, he wrote a letter to my grandmother saying that the flak was so thick over some place they were bombing that you could walk on it. It looked like you could walk on it on the side. And then the 11th mission, he was never seen again. After that, he died. The plane got shot down, and you realize just what a supreme thing. Like, you have just one loss in your family, but like multiplied by all the people and all the wars and all this stuff. It's so profound, and like they think they can just go have a war, but I guess that one was, fighting fascism. I guess that's a war you got to have sometimes. But I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's weird. I got his flag up in my, the flag they gave for like when he never showed up to get buried. They send everybody a flag, so we got like a 48-star flag hanging in our hallway. But it's not that entertaining a story, is it? I don't know what to say. Anyhow, let's try something else. I haven't done many shows lately, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I've been off for the summer. So, oh yeah, here we go. It's an old song, like from the 30s or something. Well, 25 minutes past 7, a cup of coffee and a slice of cake. We'll be all the way to Kansas City before the driver ever hits the brake. Don't you know we're gone? We got 2 lights on. We got 2 lights on behind. Well, that red light, that means trouble. Green light's a wandering man. Well, the Flying Crow left Port Arthur. At Shreveport, changed the crew. Took water in Texarkana, and the driver said, push on through. Don't you know we're gone? We got 2 lights on, 2 lights on behind. Well, that red light, that means trouble. Green light's a wandering mind. Well, you can take your money, throw it against the wall. You can keep everything that sticks, they'll take everything that falls. Don't you know we're gone? Got 2 lights on, 2 lights on behind. Well, that red light, that means trouble. Green light's wandering mind. How soon till you forget me? Why do you hide your face? I'm begging you for mercy. So you make a federal case, don't you know we're gone? You got 2 lights on, 2 lights on behind. Well, that red light, that means trouble. Green lights are wondering mine. Well, my baby got a mouth like a lighthouse on the sea. Every time she looks my way, she shines a light on me. Don't you know we're gone? Got 2 lights on, 2 lights on behind. Well, that red light, that means trouble. Green lights are wandering mine. All right. All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Are there any questions or anything so far? All right. I'm really glad to be able to do some sort of benefit for the store, which I think is like the greatest store going, man. And it's got a fantastic selection. The way, Eric, the way you kept music going during the pandemic, man, for all those musicians and all that, it was a really brilliant thing, man. So it really fantastic. So you should make a donation and buy a huge book of some sort, you know, a huge reference book of some, or a atlas or rare book or something, or anything. I've never played this song anyway. Let me see if I can do it. Well, the cuckoos were howling in the juniper trees. We stole wild honey, got chased by the bees. Took the shortcut, never got home. Looking around, I wasn't alone, just you and me. Just you and me. That ancient sunrise, in that ancient sunrise, where the shadows were deep, you could tell it might rain. Whistle was wailing from a passing freight train. At the all-night station, we were siphoning fuel. That big red sun came up by the school. It was you and me, just you and me. And that ancient sunrise, that ancient sunrise, ancient sunrise, where the whole world began. 5-letter woman, a 4-letter man, a couple of kids that by surprise. Great things can happen if first you get wise. All that ancient sunrise. Well, there was a guy out to get me He looked like a man. He said I'd been kissing on his girlfriend Luann. We laughed and took off to the shadows of night. Left him there standing in a cold streak of light. Just you and me, just you and me. That ancient sunrise, in that ancient sunrise. Just you and me, in that ancient sunrise. Ancient sunrise. Have you ever been in trouble? Do you remember how it feels? Or are you living in a bubble caught between the wheels? Tonight you feel the danger rising on the wind, tearing at your jacket, ripping at your skin. Have you ever been in trouble? You slid by somehow. Have you ever been in trouble? The kind you're in right now, where there's freedom down the Bandon Avenue. You see something coming, or something you can do. Flip a coin forever, heads or tails. Win against the upstairs room. The loser cries and wails, and Saul agrees. How do you believe? Just ask and you receive. Have you ever been abandoned? Did you ever run at night? The streets are mazed beneath your feet, your heart concealed in fright. Prayed in desperation, felt the Holy Ghost coming down the alley just like a mega dose. Have you ever been in trouble? Or you slip out somehow? Have you ever been in trouble? The kind you're in right now, where there's freedom down the Bandon Avenue. You see something coming, there's something you can do. There's one thing I know for sure, it's real. Moment you surrender, the wounds begin to heal. It's your reprieve. How do you believe? Just ask and you receive. How do you believe? Ask and you receive. All right, thank you. All right. All right. A cup of coffee, corner spot. It ain't much, but at least it's hot. It's cold inside this bag of bones. It's too late to cry for the Rolling Stones. Saw a story on the evening news about the Capulets and the Montagues. Private highway, airport bound. The convoy screams past Shantytown. The gates are down, the decks are clear. Yeah, the thieves escape, the victims cheer. The dumb and strong ignore the clues, and it don't mean much about the book of rules. Lower Main Street soaking wet, wondering about the safety net. Boats upriver and it won't come down. Believe to my soul that was waterbound. You lost your taste for hearing truth, got lost in a polling booth. Don't know what you're talking about. You don't seem to care if you ever find out. Slur and sing hail to the chief, but you try too hard and sing your teeth. You slur and sing hail to the chief, but you can't afford to live with teeth. And power tools taking you apart. The book of rules. Ah, the book of rules. Yeah. About the book of rules. Oh, yeah, the book of rules. The book of rules. About the book of rules. I signed aboard a pleasure yacht. I had to give up everything I got. Been raising cane and driving mules, till all I had left was a pack of cools. Well, we weighed the anchor and trimmed the sails and set the course through the summer gales. One of the hands had went down blind, but the book of rules stayed on my mind. So long, Chief, I'm on my way, and I won't be back for many a day. Only fun on board of fools, but I went too long. Not the book of rules. Oh, the book of rules. The book of rules. So long, Chief, I'm on my way, and I won't be back for I think that's all I know. I might know some more songs, but I can't think what they are. So I'm going to move over here to the guitar. Play a few more for you. All right. Some of these songs. Well, let's see. Here we go. We got this guitar. You reading me out there? Here we go. Good thing too. All right. Oh, that's too high. Can you hear that out there? Is it coming through the PA? Bare feet slapping on a pine wood floor. A tumble rush of desert flowers side the door. The music box is pretty with the piebald stripes. Dust more diamonds in a shaft of light. Come on down, gonna worry no more. Oh, come on down, we ain't gonna worry no more. 'Cause everybody's laughing now, it won't be long. We've seen a lot of trouble, now the ghost is gone. Come on down, ain't gonna worry no more. We ain't gonna worry no more. Well, he was 14 dressed in his father's hat. He even grew a little mustache just like that. Told the crazy lady at the corner shop I'd take a pack of Camels and a bottle of schnapps. Come on down, ain't gonna worry no more. Oh, come on down, we ain't gonna worry no more. 'Cause everybody's laughing now, it won't be long. We've seen a lot of trouble, now the ghost is gone. Come on down, we ain't gonna worry no more. We ain't gonna worry no more. And back then they had a war in a far-off land. And the word came down from the high command. Some went to Canada, some went down with the FBI to the jail downtown. Come on down, ain't gonna worry no more. We ain't gonna worry no more. Now bananas are cheap, that's United Fruit. They tore out the labor union at the root. Murdered the tribes to clear the way for the puppet government CIA. Come on down, ain't gonna worry no more. Ain't gonna worry no more. Hear the roar of the jets coming over the park. The glow of last cigarettes in the dark. Bones turn to water and the sky turns black. Ground zero of a missile attack. Come on down, ain't gonna worry no more. I was walking by a theater, saw a shining sign. It's that Lightning Hopkins playing here at 9. I paid my last $3 and went inside, and there he was in the big spotlight singing, come on down, ain't gonna worry no more. He said, come on down, ain't gonna worry no more. 'Cause everybody's laughing now, it won't be long. We've seen a lot of trouble, now the ghost is gone. Come on down, we ain't gonna worry no more. We ain't gonna worry no more. We ain't gonna worry no more. Well, the sweetest woman that I ever known. If I died, my mother would turn to stone. I close my eyes, travel back in time. 23rd and Mission, walking side by side. Come on down, ain't gonna worry no more. Come on down, we ain't gonna worry no more. 'Cause everybody's laughing now, it won't be long. We've seen a lot of trouble, now the ghost is gone. Come on down, ain't gonna worry no more. We ain't gonna worry no more. We ain't gonna worry no more. We ain't gonna worry no more. Ain't gonna worry no more. All right. Well, okay. Eat Your Yard. That sounds pretty good. It's a good book to have these days. We're already doing that, I think. All right, here's a song. I'll play a couple more here, just to play a couple older songs. Wrap it up here. I mean, I don't really know how long to keep on playing, you know. It's too much of a good thing, you know. So here's a song about this place. When I came out here when I was a teenager and lived here. I came out from Buffalo in the winter of 1970, early 72, 73. I moved into this is about a place that you could live there pretty good, daily and weekly rates. Well, there was no way of telling on the first day in town how far it was from the Greyhound station to midnight. Our place, you check into a room at the Intello Hotel. Used to the gloom and the smell and the thrill at the sight of old man lying in hallways. So you go up on Broadway where the sailors all row, and the girls give themselves names like Lola or Estelle and Nicole. They work at a place called the Garden of Earthly Delight, tourists pouring from all over to take in the sight. Now in the sweet summer heat, if a cop walks the beat, you feel him coming from way down the street. He's drawing lines in the dirt at your feet and daring you to cross. All the same and stop making scenes. And here comes Nick, all the swagger, and the old ones are whispering, tossing. And Nick picks it up and looks for who's needing it most. And the ones on the lamb are all getting ready to roast. And the afternoon goes on forever like some drunken bond, till the sun finally drowns neath the bridge and the night has begun. Down by the bay, the ship's horns are blasting the fog as we stumble and mutter and run through the gutter like dogs, with one card to play and dying to play it each night. Hey, the back of the place called the Garden of Earthly Light. So high in your room, the mirror falls with a roar, and you're staring at pieces that they broke on the floor. And there's a knock on the door, and the guy says there's a call on the phone. You figure nobody knows your room or your name. You guess it's someone just playing a game, so you answer it guarded, expecting to still be alone. It's Nicole, she says she's getting off early tonight. Her and the boss just had a terrible fight. And would you come down to meet her? Would that be alright? So you walk in the back door, and the first thing you hear is her song. At the Garden of Earthly Delight, the show must go on. You got one card to play, and you're dying to play it each night. Hey, the back of the place called the Garden of Earthly Delight. You got one card to play, and you're dying to play it tonight. With your back to the bar at the Garden of Earthly Delight. See now what else we know how to do. These are old songs, but I don't know whether, these old songs, they still kind of seem current, but maybe that's not such a good thing for all of us.
It's called classic.
What?
Classic. It's called classic.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. The classics. Okay, here we go. Well, this one here was written, I don't know. It's called Put Down the Gun and We'll Talk About It. On the hills outside of town, there's a hiding place where the green fields sway with lavender, mustard, and Queen Anne's lace, where the silent clouds go sailing in a sea of Dutchman's blue, and The lonesome tracks by the railroad cut make me think of you and a train we missed. Oh, I loved you from the first time I looked upon your face. I didn't know your story, but I could feel your wild grace. Now you got yourself in trouble. Oh, that ain't nothing new. Through thick and thin, there's always been someone watching over you. You can put down your gun. You can put down the gun. You can put down your gun. Well, it's a lonely road you've traveled that's led you to this wall. It's a road that's come unraveled like it ain't no road at all. Put down, you can put down your gun. Put down your gun and we'll talk. Now your friends all throw their lives away. They're just making the rounds. They don't see the difference between the shepherds and the clowns that go knocking down doors by the roadside every day, selling something you don't want at a price you don't have to pay. You can put down, now you can put down the gun. You can put down your gun. You can put down your gun. Well, you grew up on a street where the cops don't go along. In a town just like a wishing well, you've been cast in like a stone. But you can put down the gun. Put down the gun and we'll talk. I don't want to swear it, but it's something that I heard. How a gun in the first act always goes off in the third. I don't want to hurt you, and I don't want to fight, but there'll be no third act at all if someone's killed tonight. You can put down your gun. Put down the gun. You can put down your gun. Put down your gun and we'll talk. All right. I got one more song here. Yeah. This is a song. If I gotta get a certain harmonica. No, not that one. Here we go. Not that one. This one isn't in there. But this song is a sort of a I just kind of made it up, but I got in some trouble in a situation. I don't really want to go into it, but I didn't do it. That's usually when I get in trouble, what I get to say. Not always. But in this case, it was clearly a case of miscarriage of justice. And actually, I didn't actually get charged, but they did. They said, they said we're not going to charge you. And I said, I looked at the guy kind of quizzically, I guess. I don't know what I was looking at him like. But he goes, somebody told, it was a detective down south. And he goes, somebody told the truth. I'm like a songwriter, so the second he said that, I'm like, I just saw like it lit up in like glowing words. Somebody told the truth. I'm like, thank you. And I went out in the parking lot and eventually wrote this song down on a bunch of unpaid parking tickets. And, So it's kind of a sing-along number. I hate to say that, but you can help me with it because it's kind of a chant and like so when you're writing a song, I tried teaching songwriting for a long time and it doesn't really work. You can't really teach people songwriting. Sorry, people who took my class, but I learned a few things. But one thing is like you have an idea for a song, like Somebody Told the Truth, right? But you can't just have a song and the story goes and then you go, somebody told the truth. That's not songwriting. A song is like when you make something into it, so you got to make it. So I'm sitting there and I started to make a thing. Somebody told. I got it like going, like cut it up and then put it back together. Somebody told. They told the truth to somebody told the truth. Yeah, that's it. It's got some sort of vibe to it, you know? You can like feel good singing it. Somebody told. They told the truth to somebody told the truth to somebody told. They told the truth to somebody told the truth. See what I'm saying? It's got a thing to it. So I was asked to part. There's this politician named Grayson, Alan Grayson, is that his name? And he wanted me to participate in his fundraising activities. He's kind of a far-left politician. He was sort of run out of Florida politics when Obama wanted to have a blue dog Democrat down there. I don't know what any of that means, but I kind of know. But they ran him out, and they said a lot of terrible stuff, but he was a really good guy. I thought he was a truth teller. But he liked this song so much that he wanted me to come and sing it at his fundraisers. And so I said okay. But I was kind of spacey from being on the road, and so they brought me out, and they would have this guy like kind of shark kind of dude that was like running his campaign, like super dressed to the nines, but no socks, you know. Real super cool guy, you know. And he would usually introduce him, and then, you know, they'd say Alan Grayson, and then I would come on and say, I would play Somebody Told the Truth, and then this guy would come out and like go give it a big hand, and then so they go one night they go, you know, the guy ain't here, you know, can you introduce him when he comes up? And I'd been on the road and I was kind of spacey, and like these things happened to me, and I have these weird kind of out of body experiences, I guess. I don't know what it was, but I played my song, and I was kind of nervous about having to introduce him, and so I looked at the people, they're like all millionaire fundraising type people, and I go, ladies and gentlemen, Alan Cranston. And then they all just stared at me, and I go, Alan Grayson. So that was the last I worked on that campaign. But that's too bad for him because he got run out of politics right after that, so I don't know. I hope he comes back, though. He was a good guy, I thought. But I could be, you can always be wrong about all that stuff. But the song Somebody Told the Truth, like, so you sing along with it, you like, and I'll teach you how to do it. It's real simple. Will you guys help me with it? Yeah. I thought, thank you. So it goes, it's like, so it's real simple. We'll do it one step at a time, right? So the first thing is you break it up into little pieces, and so the first one's just a one-word piece. So I hold up a finger, and all you got to do is go somebody. So it goes, a somebody, and that's all you got to do on that finger. Somebody. Let's try it one more time. Somebody. See, that's perfect. We're 1/4 of the way through. And then two fingers, somebody told. So you go, a somebody told. Somebody told. Okay, so I'll do one and then two. Ready? Somebody told. Now this next one's a little more complicated. There's like 5 or 6 words. I never could figure out how to count them, but I'm going to hold up 5 and you go, they told the truth to somebody, and the last somebody kind of goes up in the end, kind of like a soul music thing. So you go, they told the truth to somebody. Okay? So you go, somebody. Let's just try that told the truth to somebody one. We better just break this down. They told the truth to somebody. Yeah, it ends with the accent going up. They told the truth to somebody. Perfect. All right, now we got it, man. So, somebody told the truth to somebody. And then I go like this, and that means you go back to and you say the whole title, which is Somebody Told the Truth. So you go, somebody told. They told the truth to somebody. Somebody told the truth to somebody. Yes. They told the truth to somebody. Somebody told the truth to somebody. Somebody told, they told the truth to somebody. Somebody told the truth to somebody. Yeah, somebody told, they told the truth to somebody. So keep it going. Told the truth. They told the truth to somebody. Somebody told the truth. Okay, I'm gonna take it now. Here we go. Somebody told. Okay, here comes the verse. Well, the courthouse emptied out, the jurors went home. The lawyers eased the guilty hearts, the cops are on their own. The soldiers left the camps, the weapons lay in heaps. The generals disappeared, the prisoners were freed. Cause somebody told, they told the truth to somebody. Somebody told the truth to somebody. Somebody told, they told the truth to somebody. Somebody told the truth. All right, part two. All right. The theaters shut the doors of the city. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah, I got it. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Well, the theaters shut the doors, the radios went dead. The stadiums were silent, not a word was said. The dots were all connected, lines were barely drawn. The secrets not yet hidden were left out in the dark. Somebody told, they told the truth to somebody. Somebody told the truth to somebody. Somebody told, they told the truth to somebody. Somebody told the truth to somebody. Somebody told, they told the truth to somebody. Somebody told the truth to somebody. Somebody told, they 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 told the truth to All right, the big conclusion now. Okay, here comes the conclusion. Well, the starving men and women, for once they got their fill. The children of the highway were high up on the hill. The politicians vanished, they must have cut the plane. The clandestine policemen were left out in the rain. I sat down on the curbstone, I rubbed my eyes and coughed. I rubbed my wrists and ankles and I thanked the Lord above the sun. Yeah, somebody told. They tell the truth to somebody, somebody told somebody, yeah, somebody told. They tell the truth to somebody, somebody told the truth. Thanks a lot, you guys. Thanks, Eric, for having us all in here, and all this great music here. Bird and Beckett Books. Make a donation to Bird and Beckett. Thank you for coming out. Thanks, everybody.